All right.
Your live Weather Authority coverage starts right now.
And so it does. We are live in our CBS 13 studio right now, our digital studio, coming at you, talking about the remnants of Lee. Of course, we've been tracking the storm for about a week and a half now. Now it's affecting Maine as really a post-tropical cyclone at this point. It really hasn't probably been a hurricane since midday yesterday, even though the National Hurricane Center was saying, yeah, it's probably still a hurricane late into the evening on our Friday. Charlie and our weather team strongly suspect that this has probably not been an actual hurricane for a while. But that doesn't mean the impacts haven't been significant. In fact, we're tracking about 80,000 outages still between CMP and Versant in down east and northern Maine as well. Hey, I want to bring in my colleague, Asia Reed. She's standing by live right now in, I think you're still in Rockland. Is that right, Asia?
Yeah, I'm here in Rockland, and you look nice and warm in that studio.
I will tell you, it is nice and warm. And that's the thing, Asia. It's been actually where you are right now. It's not just been wet, which has not been the case in Portland. It's been still blustery too. So you're kind of gotten a real storm out there in the mid-coast.
Exactly, Greg. It's been super cold here. It feels like winter time, that's for sure. The rain has finally stopped. I've been here since probably noon, and it's been raining all day, but that has finally stopped just about 10 minutes ago. Pretty cold, pretty windy still, not as bad as before, but we're here at the ferry terminal in Rockland. And if you can see behind me here, all of these boats were taken out of the water, we're assuming because of the storm. And I'm going to walk a little bit closer to the water. It's pretty dark here because it's nighttime, but as we can see over here, the water is right behind me. Things are very calm now. There's no waves, nothing like that. And when we were here earlier, there was a lot of waves whipping up against the rocks, but things are pretty calm now. And like the flag post up here, that's been flying around quite a bit, but things seem to be shaping up, Greg. Things seem to be looking on the bright side.
Yeah, it's interesting too. Yeah, you were saying it was we took Asia first of all, for those who are watching on Facebook or watching at home, this has been a wild day for Asia because in Portland it's been almost no rain, and we went to I think at like 7:30, and the rain looked like it was blowing sideways at you. So you were still getting a storm, and that's important to note. I mean, Knox County, Lincoln County, which is where you are, and we hear the wind whipping off your microphone and your phone right there, right now. Still a lot of impacts. There have been a lot of impacts. What's the latest in terms of outages, at least from what you've been hearing up there in the mid-coast?
Yeah, as of Saturday evening, there were around 6,000 outages here in Knox County. And there were some things going on up here in Rockland because things were a little bit crazier earlier. We saw a large tree toppled right on this resident's car in Rockland. He said his roommate was just about to leave for work, and then that scene unfolded. So that was really unfortunate. They had no power over there. I don't know if they have power now, but they said they had no power. We had a lot of down lines just on our way up to Rockland. So in Walterboro, there's some down lines, Noblesboro as well. A lot of crews were out there and active on the scene. So it's been busy up here, Greg.
It certainly looks like it has been. Our appreciation to Asia and our photojournalist, Scotty Episcopo, up there in the mid-coast all day. Asia, take a break. Get warm if you can. Again, we can still hear the wind. Appreciate you, Asia. Thanks for joining us live here on Facebook.
Yeah, all right. Thanks so much, Greg.
Talk to you soon. All right. Again, so we've been talking about this storm. Right now, it's still officially it made landfall actually around 5 p.m. in Nova Scotia. So as an official storm at that point, again, a post-tropical cyclone. As we take a live look outside, I want to bring in our sky cam here from over our Portland sky cam. Right now, as you can see, the wind is not really whipping as much as it was earlier. You can see it kind of bouncing around a little bit. But Portland, Greater Portland, Western Maine, York County, Cumberland County, we have had outages in those areas. But for the most part, it's spared. I mean, if you were expecting tropical force winds, didn't quite happen, although there were gusts that were pretty powerful. And if you were expecting rain, that's been one of the big things, rain. It didn't really happen. So let's continue our coverage now. I want to bring meteorologist Ryan Munn. He's actually in the digital studio with me right now. So I'm going to step out of the way, give him a chance to sort of look at his weather graphics. And Ryan, again, your team, you and Charlie have had a really, really busy day. Set the scene for us. What's happening out there right now?
Yeah, so right now we are looking at the rain moving on out of here. At least it really has moved out of the Portland area. and we haven't seen rain here in the Portland area, I should say, since probably 5 a.m. But as we take a look at some of the graphics, and right now they're having a hard time pulling up.
Here, why don't I click for you? I think I can find them for you.
All right,
I'll make you talk.
Let's see if
while
we
look
can
for
figure
those.
this out.
So you start talking, and I'll see if I can find them while you're doing that.
All right. Anyway, so yeah, the rain is moving on out. We have generally only about a 1/10 of an inch of rain for most areas in the southern part of the state, and that is gone. We are looking at all dry conditions for most areas along the mid coast, as well as, of course, for southern and southwestern Maine, which saw just about no rain. And it looks like my graphics aren't coming up. We're having some technical difficulties here, but here's the good news. I will talk some of the wind gust reports. We had some high wind gusts. Perry, Maine had a wind gust of 83 miles per hour. Jonesboro around 62.
As long as we're on, we'll get no, don't
And,
slide. Get in here,
okay.
Ryan. Come on.
And then
Don't wander on.
peak wind gust. That was probably the strongest down towards the mid coast and especially down east. Down east got some of the strongest wind gusts with this, where we saw wind gusts upwards of, I would say, 50 to 70 miles per hour in some spots. Again, as I just mentioned, Perry had wind gusts of right around 83. And we have now the weather page open, and you can see the graphics. I'm trying to talk while I'm doing this.
I'll pull up the page here
and you
for
can
Ryan.
see, I mean, the sunshine's going to come out for the day tomorrow. The rain is, of course, we didn't really see much in the way of any rain with this storm, which is good, but we are going to see some more rain on the way as we head into Monday and Tuesday. And the best advice I can give you, just tune in at 10 o'clock and I'll have the latest forecast. But the good news is the waves are slowing down. The waves are making much less of an impact now across the state. And we are going to eventually just see things go back to normal for the day tomorrow and the sunshine returns. So, all right. Stage is yours again.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I'm going to play weatherman here, meteorologist for a moment. You can see this is the thing we pulled up here. Let me use my poor man's telestrator, the little mouse here. You can still see that swirl. What's interesting here as we look at this, this is the live interactive radar, by the way, at WGME.com. What you can see is here's obviously Nova Scotia. This is the Bay of Fundy. The storm officially hit right around here. Around 5 p.m. is where this officially made landfall, according to the Hurricane Center of the National Weather Service. Look where the rain is now. The storm is still kind of the eye of it. What's left of the eye is around here, but you can see it actually shifted a little bit west just in the last, couple hours or so. So the rain, I'm going to zoom in right here. Asia was here along Rockland, where there's still, some rain, and actually it's been dry spots that's been affecting all the way down here in western Maine, York, Cumberland counties. Not much rain at all, but right around the mid coast and then east. There are flood warnings and watches in effect for parts of down east Maine. As I zoom in on the radar right here on our interactive radar at WGME.com, you can tell why. There's just a lot of rain, and there are flood warnings, like I said, for parts of down east. A serious situation underway. All right. I also want to say, for those of you who are watching right now, and thank you for bearing with us this week. Ryan usually does this from the Weather Center. There was an issue with his graphics, so we pulled him in here to our digital studio. It didn't work in here either. So there you go. Just goes to show, you never know. Let's go ahead and show you though. We want to know where you're at right now. If you have any questions, let me bring that back in. If you have any questions, go ahead and jump in, send them to me. We'll try and answer them if I can. Actually, Ryan, probably a better person to answer those questions. Hey, I want to say thank you. First of all, let's say thank you to Ann, who's been watching for us from Ohio. Yeah, I think we've had a lot of interest from people. I have relatives in the Midwest as well. So, hey, hi, Ann, thanks for joining us. I have relatives in the Midwest who are very curious about this and may have watched some of our live stream as well throughout the day. Mike saying it wasn't as bad in downtown Portland, and Mike is exactly right. This storm did not bring much at all to Portland itself. Almost no rain at all. In fact, if you wanted to see rain in Portland, you need to be up at like 4 or 5 in the morning. That's about all the rain that we got. Not bad at all. Also getting a response from Gene. Gene saying it was certainly a nice breezy day in Auburn today. Glad the storm stayed away. Yeah, pretty much Augusta. Let's. You can see I still have this open. Let me do it like that so that ad isn't peeking over our shoulder as well. Here's a live look at the radar, but you can see pretty much Augusta, and it just froze, of course, on us. Augusta East is where most of the rain has been. Into Auburn, there's Augusta. Here we go. Into Lewiston, Auburn, Androscoggin County. You just like most of Western Maine, York, and Cumberland counties, not much rain for you at all. So yeah, you're right, Gene. Absolutely, just kind of a breezy day. We also have a comment here from Amy. She's watching us in Connecticut. You guys got largely spared down there too, Amy. I know some folks were out in Rhode Island, Cape Cod, trying to see some waves. Even there, not a lot of impact there either. So, and we want to bring one in viewer as well. Elliot from Poland says he saw some big gusts and some rain as well. Poland, that's interesting, Elliot, you say that, because Poland obviously is in the even further west than Auburn. So yeah, this storm is interesting. We got, and of course the radar now is kind of freezing on us a little glitching on us right now. So it's live radar here, interactive radar at WGME.com. We actually saw more of an impact in Bangor today. Bangor, which is still getting soaked, had a lot of rain today. Portland, there it goes. Portland is an ocean. This is an ocean storm. Portland got next to nothing. And Bangor got a lot of rain, and it's still getting a lot of rain tonight. In fact, we had reports of rain way up into the rooftop of Maine. Aroostook County was getting some rain earlier. So again, we're going to wrap this up here. I just wanted to say thank you to all of our viewers who are joining in. All right, I'll go ahead and show this one as well. Isaac saying hi to me. Hey, Isaac, great to see you. Thanks for joining in. Appreciate you watching me. I appreciate the kind words. That's really nice to hear. I appreciate that. And I also want to thank everybody here at WGME and CBS 13 and WGME.com. We have a ton of people here who gave up their Saturday to be with us covering this storm. A lot of people behind the scenes, our directors, our producers, web producers, a lot of folks putting in a lot of work, photographers who literally are standing there in the wind, making sure that all the images get to us. So one other note, though, before I sign off, I do want to point out for those who didn't hear, this storm did in fact turn fatal for us today. There was a death reported in Searsport. That's at the top of, but let me go ahead and use the map again to show where that is. That's the top of Penobscot Bay right here, just north of Belfast. There was a report from around 9 o'clock this morning where a person was in their car, 50-year-old man, they haven't identified him yet, was driving along Route 1, which is, of course, the major road along the coast there in Searsport, when a tree came down. Tree hit his car. He was badly injured, brought down some power lines. Rescue crews couldn't get to him for a period of time because of those power lines. They had to wait until the power was shut off so they could safely get to that gentleman and rush him to the hospital. And sadly, he later died of his injuries. So while Tropical Storm, Hurricane Lee, Tropical Storm Lee, Post-Tropical Cyclone Lee, whatever you want to call it, while it was certainly largely a miss for most of us in southern Maine, and thank goodness it was, because this is a huge storm, it was not a storm that didn't have its impacts. And for a family out there tonight in Maine, tragic impacts, in fact. So we'll continue to track exactly what's happening with the remnants of Lee as I come back to Just Me Live. As we continue to track this and get you the latest information, we're going to be live on CBS 13 coming up at 11 o'clock tonight. There's football on Fox 23, so we're not going to be with you on Fox 23 until 11:30 tonight. So please feel free to join us then. We do have some more viewers kind of jumping in here too, so we appreciate you watching us online. Our goal here is obviously, as always, is to keep you informed, keep you safe, give you the info you need so you can go about your day, get done what you need to get done, the important work you do, or just enjoying your day on a Saturday or a Sunday, trying to look for something to do and the best times to do it. So that's what we're here for. That's why we do what we do. When there's severe weather and important weather happening, we take that extremely seriously. That's what we're here. So I want to say a huge thank you to Charlie Lopresti, Ryan Munn, Emily Santom, our team of meteorologists. Christian Bridges was here earlier today. Our entire team of meteorologists gave up part of their Saturday to be here to bring you this coverage throughout the day. Marissa Bodner, my co-anchor. We had Dan Lamparello, Katie Sampson was in earlier. So I'm not going to list every name because we've got literally dozens of names once we get to everybody here at CBS 13 who's been part of this. But we do invite you again. We'll be on air on CBS 13 with an update at 11. Regular coverage on air and online starting for Sunday. Jetport, by the way, a lot of disruptions for Saturday. They'll be regular schedule, just like us on Sunday. So thank you on behalf of everybody at CBS 13. I want to thank you for tuning into this special live stream coverage of the remnants of Lee here and its impacts on Maine. Still, again, more than 40,000 outages still reported by CMP. Versant at last check, still about 25,000 outages. So that he actually ticked up a little bit. More coverage later on this evening. Thank you so much, everybody. Appreciate you watching tonight, and be safe. And we'll catch you back here live on CBS 13 at 11 o'clock and over on Fox 23 after.